Welcome back. So I'm still reading the New York Times bestseller, All About Love, New Visions by the author Bell Hooks. And I might appear to be reading in a chaotic manner, many books at the same time. I must confess I do that in real life, but also here I'm doing it in a manner that is more research oriented. So in most times when you're doing research, you can't read all of the book. You don't even need to read all of the book. You're trying to find pertinent information because you're trying to make a point and to review something specific. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to make points. I'm not the reading rainbow because I assume everyone listening to me, I'm sure, is capable of reading and reading critically. That's why you're drawn to listen to me. So, but more pertinent to this, the reason why I stopped reading this one for a while, a few days, is because healing, and this is why some people don't engage in it, is very painful. It's you're pressing into wounds that you left unaddressed from childhood. So sometimes we have to press in, and sometimes I have to allow you to pull back and allow myself to pull back. But then we come back because it's a journey, this healing thing. It's the work that we do for our whole life. So let me jump back in. Raised in a family in which aggressive shaming and verbal humiliation coexisted with lots of affection and care, I had difficulty embracing the term dysfunctional, since I felt and still feel attached to my parents and siblings, proud of all the positive dimensions of our family life. I did not want to describe us by using a term that implied our life together had been all negative or bad. I did not want my parents to think I was disparaging them. I was appreciative of all the good things that they had given in the family. With therapeutic help, I was able to see the term dysfunctional as a useful description and not an absolute negative judgment. My family of origin provided throughout my childhood a dysfunctional setting, and it remains one. This does not mean that it's not also a setting in which affection, delight, and care are present. So part of being a grown-up, and this is me talking, part of being a grown-up is getting a more nuanced idea of life, that things are not black and white, as she said. They're not black and white. There are many shades of gray and different colors, right? Your family life might have been more storms and clouds than sunshine, and another person's family life was more sunshine and less clouds. But no one had a perfect life. No one had a black and white life. Continuing, on any day in my family of origin, I might have been given caring attention, wherein my being a smart girl was affirmed and encouraged. Then hours later, I'd be told that it was precisely because I thought I was so smart that I was likely to go crazy and be put in a mental institution where no one would visit me. I'm going to pause here. So that might seem like a minor thing to say, but those words coming from, especially to children, but from anyone who you hold in high regard, the person is saying that being smart is going to get you cut off from their affection. You're going to be isolated in an institution with no care. That's not something nice. That's not something you have to say. That's something that tears you down. Not surprisingly, this odd mixture of care and unkindness did not positively nurture the growth of my spirit. Applying Peck's definition of love to my childhood experience in my household of origin, I could not honestly describe it as loving. Let me refresh your recollection about Peck's definition. He defined love as the will to nurture our own and another person's spiritual growth. Telling somebody that they are going to wind up in an institution without care is not building them up, is not nurturing their spiritual growth. Pressed in therapy to describe my household of origin in terms of whether it was loving or not, I painfully admitted that I did not feel loved in our household, but that I did feel cared for. And outside my household of origin, I felt genuinely loved by individual family members like my grandfather. So all of us have this favorite person, or at least I hope all of us do. And that for me was my maternal grandmother. This experience of genuine love, a combination of care, commitment, trust, knowledge, responsibility, and respect, nurtured my wounded spirit and enabled me to survive acts of lovelessness. I am grateful to have been raised in a family that was caring, and strongly believe that had my parents been loved well by their parents, they would have given that love to their children. They gave what they had been given, care. Remember, care is a dimension of love, but simply giving care does not mean we're loving. So let me jump back in here. Some people know they grew up in dysfunctional homes and they are intentional of not repeating that cycle. And some people just repeat the cycle blindly. So there's always a choice. But I'm also mindful that slavery for over 200 years was created to dismantle the family, to make our being together unhealthy, to make us hate each other. So it's going to take a while to work through that. Like many adults who were verbally and or physically abused as children, I spent a lot of my life trying to deny the bad things that had happened, trying to cling only to the memory of good and delicious moments in which I had known care. In my case, the more successful I became, the more I wanted to cease speaking the truth about my childhood. Often critics of self-help literature and recovery programs like to make it seem that far too many of us are eager to embrace the belief that our families of origins were, are, or remain dysfunctional and lacking in love. But I found that, like myself, most people, whether raised in excessively violent or abusive home or not, shy away from embracing any negative critique of our experiences. Usually it requires some therapeutic intervention, whether through literature that teaches and enlightens us, or therapy, before many of us can even begin to critically examine childhood experiences and acknowledge the ways in which they had an impact on our adult behavior. Yeah, one of the general critiques of therapy is, you're going to blame your parents. As a person who's been in therapy and also provide mental health intervention to people, that's not the point of therapy. If we go into the past, as you see me go into the past, right? I go into history. You have to get to the root of something to fully understand it. You have to get to the core beliefs and work there. And the core beliefs of most people formed in their childhood, form generationally. So that's why you're looking at it, not for something to blame, but to know where you need to heal the soil and come out of it. And if anything, therapy is about telling you that you have the power to live a better life. You have strengths within you. You are going to thrive. You are going to thrive while black. So that is the point of therapy. And yeah, I'm trying to make sure I give you these things right now because we're coming around the holiday times and some of us will go back to dysfunctional homes that we pretend the pain doesn't exist there, and some of us will stay away. It's not my task to ever tell you what to do. It's my task to show you ways of doing things and giving you a buffet of things to choose from. So tell me what you think. Thank you so much for listening.